Welcome back to this tutorial. We want to continue from where we left. Now that our records are in the database, how can we pull these records to display them to the user? And this is technically probably the activities that we do when we go to a website and we want to search for particular elements or particular data and it's displayed to us. So we've managed to insert records, but can we pull the records and display them in our browser? But before that, there's something I noticed here that the value that we've stored for the password is actually a plain text. That has a lot of issues. We may not really protect it highly at the moment, but at least try to provide certain level of security. So allow me to talk about encryption, how we can encrypt this. We have two encryption techniques that can be used easily. Okay, sorry, there are more than two, but there are two that we can talk about. We have SHA-1 or MD5, so you can use either of them. Probably at your free time, try to read about them and see what happens here. So what I'm going to do, let's try to encrypt this. So we're going to encrypt our password here. This password, once we receive it, let's pass it to a new value P, and I want to use MD5, and the string I'm going to pass is this one, so that it encrypts using MD5. And now the value that you're going to insert is no longer pass, but P, the encrypted password. Okay, so let's try and see what happens. So now we have a new password that is encrypted. It should be about 32 bits if I'm not mistaken. I think so. Okay, that was just a by the way. Let's proceed to the next part. Now, I want to create a new file and I want to save this new file as output.php. What I intend to do is to use this file to query the database and display the values in a browser. So this is just going to be purely a PHP file. Well, not entirely purely, because I intend to use tables along the way, or I intend to blend PHP and MySQL. So as usual, in order for us to get data from MySQL, we want to establish a connection. So I'm just going to grab this and put it here. So our connection string remains. And once we have that, we can now gain access to the database and perform our selection. So we're going to select records from database. Okay, remember our table name is still users, so we're still on table users database February. So what you want to do is to create an SQL string. Let's call it SQL select or cell, and then we're going to use the same function that we used here, mysql connect. So sorry, not connect, but mysql query, because it's a queries. Insert select, those are queries, and it takes two variables. One of them is a connection string, pass that, and then the other one is a select statement. So I just want to select all. I want to select all from users. I suppose the table name is users. Okay, so users. And once we achieve that, or once we have done that, we can, because this table has values, has record 1 and record 2. So we want to iterate through this table. We want to loop through the table and print out all the records. So what we're going to do is we are going to use a for loop. So we can say, not a for loop, sorry, because we don't know how many records are in the table, or rather, ideally, you may not know how many records are in the table. So we're going to use a while loop. So while, create a variable called row, and then mysql fetch array. Then we pass in this. So we want it to fetch that. Then we can now create variables to hold the values from the table. So I'm going to have first name, then that will be the value that is first name is FN. I think that is FN. Then we have last name, which is Helen, and then we have email. I don't think we would want to print the password on our form because that's a private data. So we can have these as, so we're just going to print those three. We're just going to pull those three items: first name, last name, and email. Password, forget about it now. Unless I don't see why you need to print your password on a web page. So we have this. So let's see whether this has successfully worked. Let's try to echo first name dot space dot last name dot space dot email. Let's see how that behaves. I hope if we are successful, I just want to load. If you're successful, it should print for us the files or the records that are in our table. So this is output.php. Okay, undefined variable, first name. Well, but we got the values. Undefined variable, first name, and we got the, it's because we entered these records. Okay, let's insert a different record. So let's say XYZ, XYZ, and gmail.com, and then again test 1, 2, 3. Submit, record inserted, reload this. We can see this. So let's find why we have a defined variable fname in line 18. And oh, sorry, T is missing. FRST. So now we can reload this, and we have this. So we have the first record here, the second record is here, and then we have the XYZ record here. Well, that was successful, but I feel that there are better ways that we can format this so that T prints it correctly. So in the next video, we are going to look at formatting it.